Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. I have another Christmas layout for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. Here is today's inspirational pin that this was actually on my December documented or December daily um, board on Pinterest, and you'll see where the inspiration comes in here eventually. So here you can see that I have taken this background piece and this die that I got from Heidi Swapp and cutting. I needed one more piece there, so needed one more strip for my larger 12 by 12 piece. And so on my December daily albums, I like to do some interactional um, pages, and so this is actually a die. So the square part, you can put pictures here. I'm showing you that it has that little flap there, so you can put pictures on the square part, and then on both the front and the back of the circle part, and then to keep it closed there is that little flap. So those are my three interactive pieces that I'm going to put onto the back of the smaller page here. So actually on this small page, I'm actually going to get 9 tiny pictures, and I printed them in 2 by 2, and then I found a circle die that worked pretty good actually. And so here you can see that I did a template to get the size, and so there I'm just testing to make sure that each of my pictures that I plan on using, that I'm not cutting out any important elements from the actual photo by cutting them into a circle. So once I had the 6 circle pieces die cut and isolated out, then I had the remaining 3 that could go onto the square parts as an actual square photo. So here is just one of my attempts to try and get the gold onto this page, and so I use my brayer along with the same colors that I was using to do the gold splatter on some of my pages throughout this album. So while I was waiting, I wanted this to be done while I was going to probably eat a meal, that I am working on this project at a retreat. So whether I had taken a break to eat and put that aside, or if I just decided to come back and work on this part of the page while that page is drying. So you can see it up there in the upper right hand corner. And so here you see me just putting each of my active elements here put together, the photos in the circle sections and the square photos in the square sections of this interactive piece. And then once that's all done, you'll see how it all comes together on the main page. So here I'm actually, this is a sneak peek into the next page that will actually be the next page for my project. And so I wanted to make sure that it was the same size or same height as this particular page. And and there I'm measuring that I'm actually making this a flip out. So I put my ruler there and just kind of slowly bend the paper up, since I did not take my scoreboard with me. And so there you can see that that's where the next page is going to start forming. So I throw my pictures on there, and I think I'm trying to decide maybe the color scheme, so I know which embellishments that will coordinate with each other on each page that faces each other. So then once I get that my little circle pieces put together, that now I'm trying to decide a base. And so this is where my inspiration comes in, that there was those 3 tags. And so I actually had this pre-printed tag, that Joy one, that I wanted to use, and so I did cut 2 additional tags out of 49 a Market scrap piece of black paper that I had. And then I got the idea to, well, first I needed to trim them down because they were too long. And so I cut this one down first and then just attached it back together. So that white doodling around the edge of the tag went all the way around, and once I put the tag back together you can't really even tell that it was cut apart because my picture goes over most of the seam, and it does cover up the entire word joy on there as well. So really I was just focusing on that doodly outline. And so then here I'm going to pull out some stamps, and I'm going to do the same doodly effect on the black ones, but I am going to bring in the gold embossing powder that you've seen on some of the other pages within my December daily album. So here you can see that I've kind of, I used one of the Katie Petite stamp sets, and I pulled one out and used some partial stamping on it to get the doodly look all the way around. And now you can see that I have that embossing on there and that they all seem to look similar. So there I'm showing you which one it was. It was on one of her recent ones that came out, and it just had a bunch of good background stamps on it. So, and then here there was actually a scribbly circle, and so I decided to go ahead and put that around the hole punch circle as well, instead of doing a hole reinforcer. So I do get that embossed as well. And now I think I'm finally ready to start putting my page together. And you can see it is a little warped here. However, once I get it attached to the other piece of paper and all these elements on there, it actually becomes very stable and is no longer warped. And so here I use my white crochet thread and just put that around, and I do, let's see, well, the top and the bottom I do tie bows, and then the middle one you can see that I just did a regular knot and stapled the long string. So I get all of those stuck down and make sure I make room for the holes that I need for the 3-ring hole punch, or excuse me, 2-ring hole punch for my album. Get those down, and then now I have time to go ahead and put the interactive element. Looks like actually I'm going to, while it's still flat with as few elements on it as possible, I do use the liquid glue, and I am attaching it to the back of the previous page. And as you can see, I have not punched my holes yet. That I did start to mark them, and I was going to punch them, but then remembered that I needed to wait until this step to punch the holes, so that I didn't have to worry about the top and the bottom and everything matching up, that I could just use the guide from the page in the back and punch the holes, and then that way they would definitely match up for sure. So here, just gluing down those 3 elements there on each of the tags. And then you can see on the left hand side there that I have pulled out a few things that I'm considering using for embellishments that I really don't come in and do a whole lot more. I do put 3 of these little word strips on each of the tags. The top one says hello happy, and then the middle one says season's best, and the bottom one says under the tree. And so these were pictures from my side of the family Christmas, that we actually had it on Thanksgiving weekend. And this is just, we just exchanged or gifts for all the kids. And so this is just some pictures of what we gave each of my great nieces and nephew. And here I just pulled off a few little sticker bits to add to each of those um, wordy bits there. And then that pretty much wraps things up here. That, oh, I guess I do come in, and actually I don't know if I do this there while I'm at the retreat or if I did this when I got home, but I do eventually add in some enamel dots as well. Nope, I did do it there. So here I am pulling out some older 49er Market, and I'm still working through trying to use up some of my older bits, and these matched up perfectly. So this is getting close to the end of my video. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. Otherwise, if you are new here, thank you for stopping by. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up if you like what you see, and if you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And here are the close-up shots. That there's a list down below of everyone playing along with Off the Board, as well as all my Pinterest accounts and my Instagram. So thank you again for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Bye.